Hello, I'm going to be talking about the spices of the Caribbean. The Caribbean is a group of more than 700 islands surrounding the Caribbean Sea, bordering the North Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. This group of islands have rich political history, dividing them amongst many countries throughout their known existence, including the United States unincorporated territories of the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Over 40,000 years ago, a group known as the Amerindians, which include the Taino, left Mongolia in Asia and settled there. In 1492, the Spanish ruling monarchs wanted fame and fortune along with explorer Christopher Columbus. They wanted the opportunity to export Catholicism across the world, and so did Columbus because of his devout Catholic beliefs. Columbus was promised a noble title and governorship of any land he would find, even though he was looking for another route to Asia. Columbus found San Salvador, thinking it was the West Indies, and left a dozen men with his brothers behind to build what he called Hispaniola, the present-day politically divided Haiti and Dominican Republic. The colonists forced the native Taino people to search for gold and work on plantations for them. Within 60 years after Columbus's arrival, only a few hundred of what may have been 250,000 Taino people were left living on the islands. Columbus's trip began the Colombian exchange, transferred people, animals, foods, and diseases across many cultures. African slaves were brought from Spain to replace the declining numbers of natives to work on plantations. The slaves would forever change the demographics of the region. The Old World wheat became an American food staple, while African coffee and Asian sugarcane became cash crops for Latin America. So why the Caribbean? The Caribbean is a blend of many cultures and world travelers, as well as a major part of American history. Some still celebrate Columbus with his own holiday, despite his decimation of the Caribbean indigenous people, while others have alternatively named this day Indigenous Peoples Day in their honor. In fact, the name of the Caribbean comes from the ethnic group of Caribs that were present on the Lesser Antilles at the time of the Spanish conquest. Today, the Black Caribs, who are descendants of Caribs and African slaves, are found in St. Vincent and Belize. They are the last representations of Amerindians in the Caribbean. I personally enjoy warmer weather and would prefer the ocean over mountains or the desert, so the tropical islands intrigue me. I didn't learn the real story of Columbus until returning to higher education only a few years ago. The weather in the Caribbean islands vary based on mountain elevation, water currents, and the trade winds, with temperatures ranging from 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the location and time of year, where rainfall can be anywhere from 10 inches to 350 inches annually, with rainforests, monsoon, savanna, and arid regions. There is also porous limestone terraces and volcanic rock that create nutrient-poor terrain, while the dense black and red mangroves along the seashore provide a habitat for many types of animals. Some of the indigenous crops that are cultivated on the island include corn, yams, and cassava. These crops show modern influence in dishes like the Jamaican bami, a type of flatbread made from cassava. The Jamaican bami is made from yucca root, sometimes called cassava. The peel must be removed due to toxicity before the plant is grated and strained. The juices also contain cyanide, so it's not to be eaten raw. Sometimes there's a 3-day fermentation that's done to take some of the bitterness out and to ensure the toxic components are absent. This is not required, and many soak and strain the grated root alternatively. Traditionally, these flatbreads are eaten with fried fish, but more recently have been used as a gluten-free pizza crust substitute. The capsaicin pepper originated in the areas that are present-day Bolivia and southern Brazil, but with the arrival of the Europeans, the plant had migrated to Mesoamerica and the Caribbean. The capsaicin annuum that was domesticated in Mesoamerica is the ancestor to most of the peppers commonly consumed today, such as cayenne pepper, bell peppers, and jalapeno pepper. The Scotch bonnet peppers are known globally to be one of the hottest peppers. They supply the heat to many Caribbean meals, such as spicy chicken jerk dishes and pepper pot stews. The Atlantic slave trade brought many influences to the tropical cuisine. From African roots, okra, plantains, and pigeon peas have made their way into dishes around the islands. A signature dish of Haiti is called griot, made from marinating beef or pork chunks in sour orange and then slowly roasting them. The meat is then fried in an oil to be caramelized to a crisp texture. It's served with sweet plantains and sometimes has a side of spicy pickled peppers and onions. The African influence also shines in signature dish of Barbados, cuo-cuo and flying fish. The cuo-cuo is made from cornmeal and okra cooked to a smooth, slightly thick consistency. The fish is steamed and served in a rich tangy tomato sauce. The flavor balance has become a staple comfort food. A signature dish of Jamaica is the jerk chicken, stemming from West African influence. This dish utilizes the herb allspice, which is actually an individual dried fruit from the allspice tree, with a blended taste of cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. Some say it can have a black pepper taste also. More than 500,000 Indian indentured servants brought the tastes of cumin and coconut to the Caribbean palate while working on sugar plantains in the 19th century under British colonization. Cumin adding warm and earthy notes to foods, and coconut flesh being used often to make desserts. The coconut milk is used to thicken curries and rice. Toto has become a popular Jamaican coconut cake that's served at many family gatherings, made with coconut, cinnamon, nutmeg, and sometimes raisins. Indian immigrants also brought roti to the islands, now a signature dish in Trinidad and Tobago. This flatbread is made from wheat and is generally served wrapping curried meats or vegetables, similar to a burrito. Other signature flavors of the Caribbean include herbs like thyme and cilantro. Thyme is often used in stews and roasted meats, adding an earthy taste with hints of mint to complement the heat of mint peppers used throughout the cuisine. Cilantro, sometimes called coriander, is frequently used in salsas, chutneys, and marinades. Another flavor that you will find throughout the island region is lime. The tartness of the citrus fruit balances many of the spicy flavors in savory dishes, or is used to enhance the flavor of desserts and beverages with its zing. Thanks for taking this ride through history and the Caribbean islands with me. I hope this inspires you to incorporate some of the island-style flavors into your own recipes, or use some seasonings that you might already have in a new way. Thank you.